Hi guys, day 2 of Vlogmas. Again, I didn't do a proper introduction. If you watched, actually I'm putting both these clips up today, so you will have already seen, day 1's. So this is now day 2. I will be doing proper introductions for these going forward, but yeah, enjoy day 2's vlog. Morning friends, happy Thursday. Today is the 2nd of December. Welcome to day 2 of my version of Vlogmas. Yeah, let me first share with you guys what I read yesterday, because I finished a book yesterday, and then I will share with you what I'm currently reading, and then we'll get into all the Advent stuff. So yeah, and I'll let you guys know about the tea and all that good stuff too. So yesterday, on my way into work, I was getting in the car, and I think I mentioned to you that I was starting that Rainbow Rowell book, the If the Fates Allow, and I was going to listen to it at lunch, and then I'm like, I'm kind of glad I didn't do that, mainly because I wasn't at work at lunch. I actually, side note, I wasn't feeling well yesterday. I've had a headache for a couple of days, and my manager was just like, do you want to go home on your lunch break and work from home for the rest of the afternoon? I said, yes, please. So that's exactly what I did. So anyway, getting in the car yesterday morning, I'm like, you know what? I'm just feeling like listening to an audiobook. So I put this one on, and I literally started it when I pulled out of my driveway. I finished it when I pulled into the parking garage at work. It was 45 minutes long. Like, I sped it up a little bit. I listened to about 1.5 times speed. So I listened to it the entire ride to work. That's how short this book is, you guys. So, If the Fates Allow by Rainbow Rowell. I gave it a 3-star. But the more I think about it, I almost want to do like a 2, 2.5. I didn't love this one. It was way too short. Like, you really couldn't get much into any kind of story. This is like a snippet in time. It's not a story, really. I mean, it is, but it isn't. I think a lot of you guys who read really short stories might know what I'm talking about. You have absolutely no time to get into the backstory of the characters and things like that. Now, the one thing I did like, and I think this is the one thing that a lot of people didn't like, but I actually give her kudos for taking this chance. It took place during COVID last Christmas. And I mean, COVID is mentioned. Masks, social distancing, all the things are mentioned. So the whole plot, if you will, of this little story is about this girl by the name of, I think it's Regan or Regina, something like that, who ends up going to spend Christmas with her grandfather. Her grandmother passed away earlier in the year, like prior to COVID. And her grandpa's kind of been all by himself. There's social distancing. They're being good. She herself hasn't really seen anybody either. She's been working from home. She's an accountant. So she quarantines herself for 2 weeks and then goes and spends the Christmas day with her grandfather. So at one point she goes to step outside just to get some fresh air, and the neighbor is next door. His name is Mason. They went to school together, but she doesn't remember him, but he remembers her. And I guess she was quite mean in school. She wasn't a very likable character. I think that was the other part of the story that I really didn't like. So anyway, stuff happens. Can you really spoil a book that's probably like 40 or 50 pages? Something happens between the two of them. There's a kiss. And then the story ends with them meeting back up this Christmas of 2021, and how things have changed and blah, blah, blah. This was much more, in my opinion, a commentary on kind of how COVID affected a lot of people. And our main character, as much as she wasn't a likable character, I found she was an honest character. In terms of the fact that there are a lot of people that I know that really... COVID affected a lot of us, and I'm not just talking about if you lost someone or if you yourself got sick or anything like that, but just the fact of how isolated we all had to become last year. And that did affect a lot of people. There are a lot of, like me, for example, I was extremely fortunate that I was not isolated alone. I had my mom, I had my husband. We did occasionally see my brother and his wife and his kids, like from a distance, like they would come over, they'd stay in the yard, yada, yada, yada. Same thing with my aunt. So, I wasn't, but there were a lot of people who were completely isolated. And I think that really took a toll on a lot of people mentally. So I did like that commentary in here. However, overall, you could skip this one. But if you're looking for a book to read in less than an hour and you just want to check a Christmas book off the list, if you download it on Kindle Unlimited, then go to Audible. you can get the Audible edition for free. So there you go, guys. So that's what I read yesterday. So yesterday, December 1st at 11 o'clock in the morning, I had finished my first book for the month. So yay me. So what am I currently reading? So yesterday I also started reading Christmas on Peachtree Lane by Jules Bennett. I'm only about 50 pages through this one. So yeah, I'm enjoying this one so far. It is about a woman who is an event planner, and she takes on the task of doing this entire like big event, Christmas event, in their small town in Peach Grove, Georgia. And she does like these house tours. Like they decorate these houses up for Christmas and then they do house tours. And they charge money for the house tours. And the money is actually going to go to building a new park for the children in town. So, you know, it's a charity thing. Now, what's his name? Brady. Her name is Violet. Brady, his grandfather owned like the final stop on the tour, the biggest house in town, this old, mansion kind of an idea. And the grandfather passed earlier in the year, and the grandfather is actually the one who started this whole tour thing. So Brady has gotten the house in the will, and he's going to sell it. He's a divorce attorney. He's like, I don't want to be part of this. I don't care anymore. I'm selling the house. It's not my problem. So of course the two of them are going to butt heads. So yeah, like I said, I'm only about 50 pages of the way through it so far, but I am really enjoying it. So I will update you more on that one. I did start listening to another audiobook yesterday, and then I quickly decided no, because I don't mind the audiobooks for this series, but I don't love the narrator. And because I've been so touch and go with audio lately, I'm like, I don't want to put myself into another audio funk, if you will. So again, I still wasn't feeling listening to the audiobook. So this is available on Kindle Unlimited, so it was fine. And I am reading on my Kindle, Christmas, Criminals, and Campers by Tanya Kappas. This is the fourth book in the Campers and Criminals Cozy Mystery series. In this one, it's super cute. So it takes place over the holidays. And in this mystery, not a local author, but a big name author comes to this little town in Kentucky. She's looking to kind of get away from everything to write her next book. And the local librarian is a huge fan of hers. Well, this isn't a spoiler. I mean, it tells you this on the back. But this author who writes predominantly small town Christmas romances, hello Debbie Maycomer, she's not who she thinks. It's not who you think she is. Let's put it that way. She comes off as a bit of a different person. She actually doesn't care about Christmas. Turns out, not a spoiler, again, it's on the back of the book, that she actually has a lot of her books are ghost written. So she's not even really technically writing them. So the librarian, who was such a big fan of hers, is very, very upset by this. And then, of course, the author ends up murdered. So these are cute little stories. They're only about 200 pages long. I really like them. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the audio of the narration on them, but they're a quick read. I am already, I think, almost 50% of the way through this. They don't take very long to read at all. And then last night, usually I only try and have like just a couple books on the go, but last night, what I used to do all the time, and I love doing it, I've talked about this before, I love the Happy Color app on my tablet, and I used to lay in bed before I go to sleep and I would play on it. Like I would color a picture. It takes about 30 to 45 minutes to do a picture. So I did that a lot before, but then I stopped doing it, and I would like stay up later to watch TV or something, and I'm like, that was really relaxing and I liked it. Or I would go to bed and and read or something like that, and that's fine too. But I'm like, I just had the urge over the last few nights to start doing that again, the coloring. So I've been doing that, but I've just been kind of like having a YouTube video, one of the ASMR rooms playing in the background. So what I decided last night is like, why don't you do a book on, your Gloss app and do text to speech? Because that's what I love doing. So that's what I started last night. I started another Harlequin book. And right now I am reading, I'm hoping you guys, oh good, you can see it. Okay, so it might be a little glare, but whatever. This is on my Kindle Fire. A Merry Christmas Date by Cindy, I think it's Cindy Powell. So this is a Harlequin heartwarming novel, and it is a story about two best friends, so it's a friends to lovers story. And these are, of course, sweet romances. There's no adult content in here. So yeah, so far I'm about 30 pages through it, I guess. Only about 10% of the way through it. Like I said, I just listened to it a bit last night while I was doing some coloring. No rush to get these done. If it takes me a week or so to finish this while I'm doing my coloring app at night, then so be it. But yeah, it's really, really cute so far. I'm really liking it. It's the third book in the series. I've read the second book. So I met these two characters in the last book that I read. So yeah, so that one is a lot of fun. First of all, yesterday's tea. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was so good. So it was a blueberry white tea. It was really subtle. It was really yummy. 2 thumbs up. Really enjoyed it. I want to get more of it. So let's get to today's tea. Back open goes the calendar. Where is number 2? There's number 2 right there. So let's open this one up and see what we got. Ooh, it looks like a Christmas one. I think some of them are holiday and some of them are not, but this one looks like a holiday one. Ooh, guys. Oops. This one sounds yummy, yummy. Oh, cannot wait for this one. Candy apple tea. Oh my. Oh my. Yes, please. It's hard to read because full leaf tea in a pyramid bag. Well, I know that. Ingredients. How bad are my eyes? It's not my fault. It's literally red on red. The ingredients are listed right there. So I can't tell you what's in here, you guys, because I legit cannot read that. My assumption is it tastes like candy apples. I don't even know what, I don't know if it's a, like a herbal tea or what the tea thing is. I'm interested though. It looks really good. So I will report back and let you guys know. As I also did yesterday, I pulled another book today. This was so much fun. I am enjoying this so much. So I did the number randomizer. I got my second bookshelf, which is over behind. You can just see it right there. That one right there, the kind of light colored one. That bookshelf, shelf number 1, which was the top shelf. And I can't remember what number I got. I think it was 36. It doesn't matter. But I got a Harlequin Kiss novel. So yay on this one. We have First Time for Everything by Amy Carson. So I will read you the back. These tended to get a little bit more spicy. Jacqueline's new boss is none other than her friend's older brother, hotshot lawyer Blake Bennington. His control freakery, I'm not kidding, that's the word, F-R-E-A-K-E-R-Y, control freakery, and his need to always be right would normally send fiery, unconventional Jax running a mile. But even she has to admit he looks edible in his bespoke suit. She quickly realizes she's way out of her depth. And with this contained, experienced guy, trying to get him to lose his cool is just a little too tempting. Ooh, that sounds good, right, guys? So yeah. So again, I mentioned this yesterday, but these are just going to kind of go on a list. And then next year, I will be pulling 2 of them every month to read in my TBR to get through just some of the massive amount of books that I have over here on this shelf. So crafting-wise for yesterday, I did get some crafting done. I'm very excited. I got the very first square done for my new sock yarn blanket. Excuse me. I needed to get my bag of minis so I could pull one for today. So this is, am I doing this the right way? Yeah. There's the first one. So yeah, that's how tiny they are, you guys. They're small. So yeah, eventually this will become some sort of a blanket at some point. It's going to take a while. Like the first one I was stitching on for years. I mean, years. So there's, yeah, so this is the right side. For years and years. So this is a long-term project, but they're a lot of fun and I like doing them quite a bit. So yeah, I'm excited to start a new blanket. So there is square number 1. So let us pick the yarn for today. And then tomorrow you'll kind of really get to see how they attach together, which is a lot of fun. So ooh, we have a blue. Is this a Felici? Yes, it is. So this one, so this is today's yarn. This one is self-striping, and I don't know if I'm going to get to the stripe or not as I unwind a whole ton of yarn. Just so you guys can see. Do you see the gray underneath? So that's a stripe. So this is like self-striping yarn, so it stripes on its own. So it's very cool. Sometimes with these small minis, you get to the next stripe. Sometimes you don't. But I have a big enough ball here that I could probably get at least a couple of minis out of this. My minis do not take much yarn at all, clearly. So yeah, eventually this will just go back in the bag and I'll just pull it again at some point. Not in these 20, like guys, I have probably a good 50, you know, yards in here. So yeah, but anyway, that is today's yarn. So that's exciting. So let me put all that into this bag so I don't lose it. And then yesterday I also got my socks to knit on. That was my my spin the wheel of craft for yesterday. So I did get a little bit done on my socks. So that's where I was, and that's what I got to. Not terribly exciting. I think I got a little over an inch knit. So that's not too bad. I knit a lot of these last night while I was watching CSI New York, but again, my shoulder was bugging me, so I didn't really do too much. Had the heating pad on, so that's helpful. But yeah, so that's what I got done yesterday. And for today's craft, I spun the wheel for today, and we got a cross stitch project, which I'm very excited about. So I am stitching on, and I'll show you guys the pattern itself first, and then I'll show you what I've already done on it. It's called Chester's Place, and it's by a designer called the Whistle Stop Designers. Now, she designed this pattern because her cat got very, very sick, and he needed either surgery or, like, he needed very expensive vet care. Let's put it that way. So she designed this pattern, and all the money from the sale of the pattern went to fund the cat's health care. And the cat's fine now. His name is Chester. And now any money she makes from it goes to like a local animal shelter, which is just warms my heart. So like I said, it's called Chester's Place, and it is like kind of an old school sampler. It sort of, not really. But it says at the top, until one has loved an animal, a part of one's soul remains unawakened. So you got this beautiful house, and then there's all these animals. There's a horse. I think that's like a gerbil, a black cat. Gotta love a black cat. 2 black cats, actually. Or a brown cat and a black cat. And then Chester's in the middle. He's the orange cat. And there's a chicken and a bunny rabbit. I just think it's so charming. It's so cute and so charming. So, and like I said, when I bought the pattern, the money was going towards animals, to help animals. So, yeah, I'm really, really liking this one. And it's a relatively easy stitch, too. So that's a good thing. So this is how far I am. I have started the house, as you can see. So I'm doing it on blue because I think it's going to make the white stuff, the white parts of it pop a little bit more. And I have this awesome little needle minder of my Goran. If you guys have been watching me for a while, you know back in August, had to let my poor baby go. Make the toughest decision you ever have to make as a pet owner. But my friend Mandy had this made for me years ago. So he's hanging out with me while I stitch on this project. So yeah, so that is that. So anyway, guys, I will talk to you tomorrow.